G'day guys, Solid here, hope you're all doing well and welcome back to another episode of Adventure News. We've got plenty of news today, updates on the KTM 490, both good and bad. Triumph are back in the headlines talking about their Enduro and Dual Sport range, very exciting indeed. We've got updates on the DR650 for Australia and the rest of the world. I wanted to talk about the brand new 2022 KTM 450 competition rally bike. Last month I was talking about the KTM 490 series and how we are now expecting this bike to be revealed at the end of the year at the big motorcycle shows. We've also got a few articles now saying that these bikes could be available in 2023 for consumers, so that is fantastic and very exciting news. Whether the 490 Adventure is in that lineup for 2023 remains to be seen, but it still is really encouraging. The other really exciting news is, like last month I said, with CF Moto and KTM having their agreement, and CF Moto have just released a sports bike with the 490 engine, a 450cc parallel twin with a 270-degree crank. CF Moto Australia has now confirmed that yes, indeed, that is the engine that will be used in partnership with KTM for KTM's 490 range. It's pretty sure bet that if we do see this bike, it will be with a 270-degree crank, which is awesome news. As I said last month, that is my favorite firing order for a parallel twin, and it will really set it apart in the small displacement market, being a 270-degree parallel twins. Now to the darker side of the news coming out in the last 24 hours. Take this with a grain of salt. There are a couple of outlets coming out of India stating that KTM are now planning to shelve the 490 range. Now, why would they be doing that? Well, the sources say that KTM are citing both the major health crisis and the lack of semiconductors, that's computer chips for anyone that doesn't follow that stuff too closely. This could hold water that KTM are gun shy about releasing a 490 range in this current economic climate where it doesn't really make a lot of sense to their marketing team. I think this bike would really do well regardless, at least in the Western market. I'm not too clued in as to how it would do in India or in the Asian market. There is a big appetite for a significantly lighter adventure bike than what's currently available on the market, but still with a decent amount of capability, and really a lot of people are pinning their hopes on this 490 Adventure being that bike. KTM, quit complaining about the tough economic environment. It's not the first one, it's not the last one, so get on with making the bike that we really want to see. Let's talk about Triumph. Now, this was one of the most exciting stories of last year, that Triumph made an official announcement that they were moving into the Enduro, MX and Dual Sport world, and they'd hired both Ricky Carmichael, yes, the GOAT, and Ivan Cervantes. I hope that's how you pronounce his last name. Both very high caliber, high pedigree off-road riders, and they were both brought on to head their off-road development campaign. And they've released some new updates to keep us all informed of how everything's going. They said they're quite far along in the development of their off-road bikes. They said that they can't release any details just yet. Now, they have said that yes, we will have MX bikes, yes, we will have Enduro bikes, and we might, focus on might here, get some dual sports. Now, I hope they mean the international definition of dual sport. That is a bike that can just basically go everywhere, but has a fairly long service interval and is very durable. Not so much the American version of a dual sport, where it seems like in America you guys kind of call Enduro bikes, so that is bikes made for Enduro racing, dual sports if they come with a number plate. So I hope that they do make some full-blooded dual sport motorcycles. And another little tidbit that I would like to share with you is that apparently Triumph are going to be making these bikes premium, so sticking within the current Triumph ethos, because there was a lot of speculation, were these going to be cheap bikes made in conjunction with a Chinese manufacturer to save costs, or was this going to be a full-blown in-house Triumph job with high specifications and high quality like we've come to expect from most of their road and adventure offerings? And I'm happy to tell you that the rumors are that it's definitely going to be high performance, high caliber bikes, and something that's really meant to go into the market to compete against the KTMs, the Beaters, the Yamahas, the Hondas, those kinds of bikes. So that's very encouraging news, but it still is up for debate. As to what kind of dual sports we can expect in the future, who knows? Really, I'm just excited because Triumph aren't constrained by any market expectations. KTM, they're expected to make a certain kind of bike. Honda, they're expected to make a certain kind of bike. Triumph, there's no expectations at the moment, so really they can come out of left field with some fantastic ideas if they've got the balls to do it. Now, before you fall off your seat, we're talking about the competition model here. So it's not road registerable, because if you want one, currently in Australia, the 2021 model is $56,000. Yeah, if you haven't fallen off your chair already, you just did. Not the cheapest things, but of course these are meant to be high performance, the absolute pinnacle of rally bike, and they are an absolutely amazing and drool-worthy machine. And basically, I'm talking about this story because I wanted to vent my frustration. You know the drum I'm gonna beat here. Why can't KTM make this bike for the masses? I really don't see why KTM couldn't take their super light platform of the 500 EXC, or maybe even the 350 if they wanted to save even more weight. Basically make the engine cases a little bit bigger to get those service intervals a little bit wider, as well as a little bit of that rally bike-esque comfort with the fairing and a little more wind protection. Usual rally bike stuff. Release it to the market. I'd even pay a premium over the current EXC for it. It would be a fantastic bike. Super light, super capable, and basically a dream bike for a lot of people. I'd love to know if you would like to see a 450 rally bike for the masses from KTM. Let's talk about the DR650. Suzuki have finally done it. They've got EFI, 6 speeds, and new suspension. Just kidding. Bold new graphics once again for most people in the world, and it's even sadder than that if you're in Australia. We've kind of known for a while that the DR650 would likely not make it past the 2021 model year because of our ABS laws, and that looks to be the case on Suzuki's website here in Australia. It is officially discontinued. If you want a DR650 brand new off the showroom floor, and you're in Australia, you better move quick. The Tanami edition that they currently got on sale is the last they're gonna have. Luckily for you, it's got some tasty bits like a bash plate, bigger tank, and some other off-road accessories. Really sad news that DR650 is getting discontinued here in Oz. It's a bike they haven't had to update pretty much ever, and for them to bother with doing the ABS just to get past in the Australian laws would mean that the bike would then come under newer regulations, which would mean they'd have to address the emissions problems, EFI, all that stuff. So it really is put in the two hard baskets. A little bit frustrating. We've lost another great dual sport.